Hi, my name's Jeff Gregg. I'm the lead designer here at Wargaming, and I got to watch the Commander mode come to fruition and watch really smart people make something awesome happen and come on the screen.
My name is Daniel Pinch. I'm a game designer here in Chicago, working on Tank Commander. Starting off, I did a lot of research into what makes an RTS on console fun, which was a pretty fun task, getting to play games that are already out there. And then figuring out what makes them good and how we can incorporate similar features into our game that also works in the World of Tanks, environment.
So the inspiration for Commander mode came when Victor, who's the numero uno here if you work at Wargaming, he had an idea about taking an RTS-style tank game where you can use strategy and tactics as an army of one with as many tanks as will allow you to control against individual tankers that are using a lot of individual strategy such as turning your hull and your turret and precision aiming and seeing what those two worlds played like and how they fought against each other. And honestly, which would be more victorious and how often.
We thought that was a pretty cool idea. And we had the Sydney team, who's a really talented group of guys. And we have World of Tanks console that already exists, and we figured this would be a perfect mashup. Coming down from Victor to us, we figured out what his goals were, how we could incorporate them and expand upon them to create a really fun game mode.
We had the pleasure here in Chicago and Baltimore of working with the Australian developers who are part of the Wargaming family. And what was really cool about that is essentially the sun never set on Commander mode. If you look at the globe between Chicago and the other side of the planet, it's not exactly Australia, it's more in the ocean. It's always daylight on somebody working on Commander mode. That also caused challenges, obviously, because by the time we're getting ready for our evenings or to go to bed, they're getting up and having their morning coffee and getting ready to hit the ground running. So it took a lot more discipline to make sure that there was a lot of communication and that everyone knew what everyone else was responsible for.
My name's Adam Maxwell. I'm the technical artist that worked on the Commander mode. And I looked at the user interface, designed some of the UI, some of the new artwork in there.
My name is Patrick Nolan. I'm a game designer here at Wargaming Sydney, and I've been tasked to take care of the game design on Tank Commander.
I'm Aidan Muller. I'm a product manager for the Commander mode in World of Tanks console. My role has been sort of prioritizing the work and defining it, trying to make it an exciting game mode for the players to enjoy.
My name is Mishna. I'm the lead programmer on Tank Commander.
Hi, I'm Jerry. I'm project manager on 14 Raven, who's developing Tank Commander.
Playing Commander mode is quite different to playing World of Tanks. During World of Tanks, you're always angling your armor and really vying for a good position and good cover, but you don't really have the time to do that as a commander. It's more about positioning all of your tanks and trying to make them work as a team together to beat the enemy.
One of the challenges that we faced when developing Commander mode was trying to balance the asymmetrical nature of the gameplay, playing as a commander against a team of tankers and trying to preserve that core experience for the tankers.
Figuring out how we were going to continue adding more controls to the game, things like retreats, waypoints, different commands that empower the player to have a greater sense of strategy, using a controller which has a very limited number of buttons.
So War Stories has a really, really good AI system that allowed for some really, really good gameplay there. But when we had an RTS mode, players expected the AI to act much more explicitly to what they've said. Because of this, we had to sort of remove a lot of the advanced tactics like carouseling from the AI system. The players' expectations needed to be set around the AI doing exactly what they needed. Players were saying is the AI could be smarter, but when it was smarter, the AI would quite often run off and do things that the players didn't expect. So dealing with this challenge was quite a fun challenge to deal with.
The controller has 15 inputs, more or less, depending on which platform you're talking about, and if you're going to use the analog touchpad for you PS4 players. But we saw that as a challenge, not as a detriment, and that was a lot of iteration, a lot of research, a lot of seeing what other people who have been successful in this genre on the console have done, and making sure that all still worked for the core World of Tanks experience.
In an RTS, you have very easy to see damage models, right? You shoot, you have a top-down view, your units shoot the enemy, and their HP goes down. On World of Tanks, this is a bit more complex with the penetration system. Units can deflect damage, and this isn't always intuitive when you're having the top-down view and a lot of things is going on the screen with a lot of battles happening at the same time.
My favorite new feature in Tank Commander is the new mouse and keyboard support. it means that I can now plug my mouse and keyboard in and get the same feeling as when I'm playing a strategy game on the PC and get the full experience when playing against tankers.
The control scheme was initially designed for a gamepad, and when we added keyboard and mouse support, we had to make sure that we are not taking anything away from the original gamepad controls, but also providing an experience unique to keyboard and mouse.
One of the challenges here was making sure that we were able to adapt the keyboard and mouse experience to feel as natural as it can for someone who is used to that experience, while also making sure they had no advantage over the controller experience.
My favourite strategy during play is to set up a bit of an ambush and to try and lead the enemy into that ambush with some real micro movements of the scouts and things like that.
If I was making Tank Commander for myself and I could get any feature in there right now, I'd like to be able to take my own tanks as my army into the battle, build a platoon from my existing tanks, so I could customize the way I played every single time.
The feature that I want most from the Commander mode at the moment is I want to hold and fire. So when I'm playing in my strategies quite often, I have my TDs held back. I want to be able to say, just target this guy when he comes out of cover. At the moment, the attack command sends them across the map that they have line of sight. So what I really want is just a hold and fire when you have the opportunity on this guy.
I'd like to thank all the players for playing, and I really hope you had a good time playing the game. I know it was definitely fun making the game.
I've been watching the videos on YouTube, the forum posts. It's really great to see the feedback, and it's been a really fun mode to make.
So I just wanted to thank you guys, all the players out there, for playing our game and playing Tank Commander and checking it out. And it was a real joy to try to bring this new game type to you and try to preserve the existing love that you have in the regular game and have it fit nicely alongside of it.
I want to thank everyone who's playing World of Tanks Mercenaries. I want to thank everybody who's playing Tank Commander, who's played all the versions of Tank Commander, and continues to give us invaluable feedback. And I will see you on the battlefield, either from above you or from behind my own tank. Roll out.